Roar, roar, roar. Hi, my name is Gus. That is. Whew. Oh, there it is. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tested VR, where we are trying a brand new thing of showing you pieces of my costume collection in VR. You get a view of this that no other media would give you. I'm actually really curious because, I'm always looking at other people's costumes for the information that they can tell me about how to make better costumes myself. I made this a few years ago for Comic-Con. It is one of my favorite costumes. I didn't know what character of bear I would be for a long time, and then I realized that I should just drag the carcass of Leonardo DiCaprio through the Comic-Con floor, and it went off pretty well. People really enjoyed it. This suit, while it looks really big, actually the whole thing weighs about 6 pounds. This belly is stainless steel dress boning. That is the things that make hoop skirts hoop, that I riveted and bent into the shape of a nice big fat bear. I was thinking of Baloo from Disney's The Jungle Book. The feet which have leather bottoms, were inspired by an amazing photo at the Academy of Sciences here in San Francisco. And they're actually built on some very comfortable shoes. So this is a very comfortable costume to wear, except for the head. And this right here is head 2.0. This is head 1.0, and it's worth talking about the difference here. You can clearly see there's a significant difference between the two heads. I would submit that the biggest difference between the two heads is that this one looks like a stuffed bear, and this one looks, if not like a real live bear, at least like a character that you actually can see when you look at him. Here, let me bring him in a little bit closer. There you go. So this area of designing, there's fur all over my whole life when I work on this costume. This is not my area of expertise, designing faces of characters. I'm a hard-edge model maker. I make spaceships and cars and sets and stuff like that. Faces are much more difficult for me. I spent a lot of time in the reboot of this head trying to get something menacing. I ended up with something that looks like my childhood teddy bear, Gus. So clearly I'm tapping in to some deep emotional need to reconnect with my old teddy bear. And while he's a lot cuter than I was hoping he would be, he is, at least, I feel like I can see a living being in there. Or, like I said, a character, as opposed to this dead-eye dick here. I don't know, this one's always disappointed me just a little bit. And this is actually a regular thing that happens with me with costumes. I will complete a costume, and then years later I'll go back and rebuild a specific piece that never quite worked for me. But I haven't finished describing the construction, so give me a second. The construction of this suit is really, really simple. There's only one main structural part, and that is this sort of open frame that I wear that is covered with fur. That's it. There's a frame underneath, and the fur is literally stretched over and Velcroed on top of that. And then the legs and the arms, there's no padding or anything in the legs and arms. They're big bags that connect up to the suit. So this suit is literally 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. 2 shoes, a body with the legs and arms attached, and a head. That's a nicely simple checklist. But let's talk about the head here, because I'm really pleased with him. The other head was made out of a hat material called buckram. Here is the first blank of the bear head for bear head 1.0. And buckram here is a netting that is infused with a thermoplastic. So with hot water or a hot gun or a low temperature oven, you can mold this stuff to shape, and it makes incredibly lightweight. I gotta say, claws are really useful. Anyway, that was head 1.0. Head 2.0, I realized that I thought this head was too small for this body, so I wanted a bigger head, and I basically built it from scratch. I built the framework of this head out of cardboard, and then slowly covered it with paper mache, and then I used the paper mache model as the basis for patterning out the fur, laying the fur on top of the paper mache. Oh, right, and then there's the animated aspect to it in which he roars. And right now, roar, it's just a pull cable. That's a taxidermy bear mouth in there, which I purchased years ago, and it's been sitting in a box labeled bear waiting for head 2.0. I also had these big glass eyes, which I found after I'd made the first bear, and put those in. And look, this gave me a newfound, building head 1.0 and 2.0, gave me 2 iterations of a deeply profound respect for people who do this type of cosplay. Whether they're making animals from movies that they loved, or animated animals, or furry costumes for their personas, it is surpassingly difficult to get something that feels authentic and genuine and like there's an entity behind those eyes, as opposed to something that looks like it's just stuff and mountable on the wall. Mad respect for the people who do this regularly at a high level of quality. Isn't that great? There was an unrealized plan to make these for my whole family. I never got around to it, but I have like some black and some brown and some white fur upstairs. Someday there may be more bear costumes, but for right now, there's just this ginger one. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this show and tell. I hope the information you might have gleaned from viewing my costume and all of its 3-dimensional glory is useful to you. And as always, I will see you next time. Roar! 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 Roar!